So one of the biggest buzzwords in fitness is core stability. We hear people talk all the time about the importance of having a strong core, but what exactly does that mean? For a while, people thought that core stability or core strength dealt purely with our abdominal muscles. So anybody that had strong abs must have good core strength. And that's just not true. We see a lot of good athletes, we see bodybuilders, we see people that are fit, that have six-pack abs, strong abdominals, but they routinely get a lot of low back pain, and when we challenge their core, they actually don't fare very well. So core strength is really more a function of the coordination of the muscles all around my spine. I can make an argument that almost every part of my body has some impact on my core. So rather than thinking about my abdominal muscles and doing things like sit-ups and crunches, so if I were laying on the ground doing a sit-up, obviously this is posturally not a great thing to do. And core stability is all about keeping our spine stable. So the number one rule when we look at core strength, or really any exercise, is for an exercise to be sustainable, it can't negatively impact my posture. So even though doing a ton of sit-ups and crunches may make my abs feel like they burn and create a lot of lactic acid, we got to find ways where we prioritize the neutral spine position to truly have good core strength. So we're going to focus really on 4 different anti-movements to do that. So we're going to look at anti-extension first. So I don't want to have this big tilt to my pelvis and this big arch in my back, which is going to load up pressure on my spine and cause back pain. So the most basic exercise we can do to fix that is to work on planks. So I can come down on all fours, I can find a position where my spine is relatively neutral. I can use my glutes to step out into this tall plank position, and as I grip the floor strong, squeeze my glutes and brace my core, even being up here for 10, 20 seconds, trying to create that tight contraction, I should feel my abdominal muscles working pretty hard to hold that position. If I get in a bad position, meaning if I go to step out with my legs and I allow my back to arch, then I'm definitely going to feel my low back contributing to this exercise, and that shouldn't happen. I should feel like this is all about my abdominals. I shouldn't feel any stress in my lower back. So that's anti-extension. If we have issues with our wrists, one, we should ask, why do I have an issue with my wrist? But I can go from this tall plank down onto my forearms, do the same thing, find neutral, come out, brace strong, so tension to my upper body, my lower body, my glutes, and my core, but I should not feel any stress on my lower back. So that helps us buffer extension of my spine. We also want to be able to control lateral bending. So for that, we would move into something called a side bridge or a side plank. I can again come down on all fours, fly neutral with my spine, step out into that original tall plank position. But now by walking my feet together, stacking myself on one side, and holding myself neutral, so my head is in line with my spine, I'm creating torque from my shoulders and bracing my hips and my core, I'm now going to prioritize my obliques and the muscles down the lateral side of my body to try to prevent my spine from tilting to the side. Those are 2 pretty common exercises. The 2 other variations that we see a lot of people miss is the ability to resist rotation. This is really important for athletes that have to create rotation. So if I'm a golfer and I want to be able to turn my body really fast, I better learn how to control that movement and stop it. I don't want to drive a car super fast if I don't know how to apply brakes. So we're going to grab a band, or you can use a cable machine at the gym. I'm going to come down on one knee. I'm going to pull the band in close to my body, make sure I'm nice and square. I'm going to extend the arms out in front of me. The band wants to rotate my body in, but I'm going to use my glutes and the muscles of my abdomen to hold my body stable and feel like I get strong through the core, so I'm resisting rotation. And then the last movement that we're going to try to avoid is flexion. I'm going to try to see if I can resist flexion. And a great example of this is a little more of a complex exercise, but we're going to grab a band, and I'm going to hold the band over top, getting my spine nice and neutral, accentuating good posture, and I'm going to work on performing an overhead squat. If I resist, if I give in to the tension of the band, my back is going to start to round early. If I can maintain strong core, braced shoulders, strong hips, I can get into this neutral spine, deep squat position with my arms overhead. So now we've worked on strengthening the muscles of my back, my abdomen, my obliques, and we've worked in resisting extension, lateral bending, rotation, and flexion. If you're able to go through all of that in a short period of time, you're going to have a very strong core and you're going to be free of back.